A lot of the footage you watch is about bodybuilding, and every time I'm like, dude, Arnold looks way better than all of you guys. Like Arnold's in prime.
Yeah, the proportions, dude.
Alright, guys.
Anyway.
So, as I said, Jose, what do you think is one of the coolest things about reading a book? Any book.
I guess from my perspective, for me it's really hard to read a book. So the fact that I'm sitting down and actually taking time out of because my mind is always going like really, really fast. So like for me it's just the I guess the pleasure I receive from actually being able to sit down and concentrate for what 20, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's like the best thing for me because I know it's really hard for me like to meditate in a sense, you know, like sit down and like let go of the world, you know, be present to the moment. So I mean, reading a book really is good practice for me, and it also is very pleasurable when I do that.
There you go. Kind of like you get sewn in the moment, right?
Right.
There's a lot of good feelings coming from that.
Absolutely.
Going back to what he said, I remember reading this book. It's called When China Rules the World, which, by the way, fascinating book. Says that China is going to rule the world soon, right? I could read about 5 to 6 pages in an hour. I was so, the word is scattered. Your brain is scattered, and most of our brains are scattered. A few different reasons. A lot of times it has to do with your diet. A lot of times it has to do with all the stimuli coming to your brain, right? How many times you're not getting pings from your friends, the Snapchats, the Instagrams, the Facebook, text message from your girlfriend? It's great. It's all great. But I'm no neuroscientist, but I do know that the more that we have these influences on our brain is literally losing the ability to focus. And losing the ability to focus means that you have no willpower. Willpower means that you cannot, if you have no willpower, means that you cannot push through obstacles. And if you cannot push through obstacles, then you're not going to get very far in life, because your life is going to hit you with so many obstacles in any path, you know. Jake, for example, yourself, you are studying, you told me, what was it you're studying?
Biochemistry.
Biochemistry. You're going to become a cardiovascular surgeon.
Med school, like
med school.
Yeah.
So on your path to med school, organic chemistry is going to come. I don't know if it already came for you.
Mm-hmm.
Did it come?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Right? It's going to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with any other, you know. I know Damien, he just got an internship with Rick Scott. You know.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. Yes, man.
Which is pretty good, you know. And even there, although he's going to be doing some basic work, I know that there's going to be some challenges there. You know, the moment that he's not being completely focused on his job, not saying that you're not going to be, Rick Scott is going to be like, hey, Damien.
He's gonna bring out that old like white Southerner whip.
Exactly. And you know, he was a frat boy, so he's going to bring that frat boy thing too. He's going to spank you too.
Paddle.
All right. So, again, you know, willpower derives from focus. Focus derives from the ability to concentrate. Concentration is one of your biggest assets in creating music, powering through books, reading. I was reading 5 pages an hour. My brain was so scattered. But through meditation, through eating healthy, to just focusing every moment in the present moment as much as possible, I've gotten to the point that I can read about 40 pages in 1 hour or so. Right? I've also done some speed reading, which helps a lot. It's pretty easy. But what I want to get to is thinking big. He says that capacity is a state of mind. How much we can do depends on how much we think we can do. When you really believe you can do more, your mind thinks creatively in ways that you previously didn't think you can, right? The moment that you're like, you know, in 5 years' time, I want to play an ultra. Once you set yourself a goal that high, your brain, and you're committed to it, your brain will find ways to take you there, right? Because if you think, oh, we talked about this the other day. If I'm like, oh, I just want to become the DJ for Taboo, which is amazing, right? I would kill to be the DJ of Taboo and play some more Hispanic music, right? Some reggaeton and stuff like that. But it's only a goal that is in the community. Once you're saying ultra, you're talking about worldwide. The amount of work that you're going to have to put in is going to be much bigger.
Prestige worldwide.
Right? Are you talking about Pitbull?
No.
No?
Step Brothers.
The movie Step Brothers.
Oh, okay. See, I'm too old school for that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. You youngins. All right. So, the book has tons of different facets. Something that I want to touch upon today is curing yourself of excuses. He says that excusitis, this disease, will stop you every single time if you have it with you. Get rid of this disease. And one of the biggest excuses you're going to put yourself is, I'm not going to do it today, right? Anything you can do in order to cure it today is to do it today, right? You want to write those letters for that song? Do it right now. Realize that tomorrow or that in a little bit is just a big lie. You want to do it right now. You want to go to the gym? Do it now. You want to start a paper? Do it now. You want to start planning your life? Do it now. The action habit. Most important of all, know yourself. Know that you're going to be making excuses, as I said. The people, human beings in general, we make so many rationalizations. How many of you guys have said like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym right now. And then your friend calls you. He's like, yo, bro, come check out, Game of Thrones. And then you go to his room. And then what happens? Right? Maybe you do partake in some activity. And you don't end up going to the gym. You're like, oh, I'm going to go a little bit later. Hits 10 o'clock at night, you realize that you haven't even started your homework. Right? So do it now. Realize excuses are going to come. But be aware, okay? Do not lie to yourself because it's so easy to lie to yourself. In any endeavor you pursue, this is something that you have to realize is huge. Unless it's 100% new thing, like nobody has created it, right? Think about something that has never been created. Almost everything has already been done. So think about, how could I do it? It has already been done. There is no excuse for me not to do it. Going into med school, becoming a millionaire, becoming senator of Florida, somebody has already done it. That should be one of the most motivating things to do. Stop thinking about any limitations. Just go. Just go, just go, just go. Anything, anything. Get started, get it done. You'll be surprised when you have that mentality. And something that you have to realize too is that what one man can do, another man can do as well. This is something that I picked up from Tyler Durden from RSD Nation. Do you guys know who Tyler is? He teaches dating advice. He teaches pickup to a lot of socially awkward guys, right? So he says that, for example, he calls himself a balding ginger, right? A balding, ugly ginger.
What he is.
And he is a baldy, ugly ginger, right? But you see the girls that he hangs out with, and they're some of the, beautiful girls, like what we call a dime. How does he does it? How does he does it? Pardon my English, it's a second language. How does he do it, right? How does he do it? It's just willpower. And he has also realized that looks is not what completely attracts women. If you're this really confident, really charismatic, really funny dude, it doesn't matter if you're not 6 feet. It doesn't matter if you're not completely jacked and tan like myself, right? Just kidding. But yeah, you guys get it. And also, very important, mentors. The single biggest way to be successful in your field, be that investing, be that being a great speaker, be that being a great DJ, you want to cut that learning curve like this. You want to slash it. How do you become a really good neurosurgeon? Become friends with neurosurgeons. Become friends with DJs. Become friends with speakers. That is something that I haven't done yet. Some of the greatest people in the world, Warren Buffett. Who here knows who Warren Buffett is? Everybody knows who Warren Buffett is. Second richest man in the world. He had a mentor. Anthony Robbins, known as somebody who gets paid 7 figures to coach some of the greatest minds in the world. Serena Williams, Andre Agassi, Oprah Winfrey, who else did he coach? Hugh Jackman, Bill Clinton, some of the best people. He had a mentor too. You cannot get to the top if you're not going to be spending with somebody who's 20 years ahead of you. Something that Ty Lopez, who knows who Ty Lopez is? I always post about him and whatnot.
Talk about it all the time.
I talk about it all the time. He reads a book a day,
Oh,
right?
okay.
He just, and I don't know how he does it. That sounds a little sketchy. No, I'm kidding, Ty, you're the man. But he reads a book a day, and he tells you in order for you to be successful in life, apply the law of 33%. What is the law of 33%? 33% of your time, hang out with people who are below you, so you can help them, and you get self-esteem from helping others, right? Right now, I don't want to say you guys are below me, but in a way, I'm assisting you, and it feels good. I'm not like, oh, I'm the man. I just feel good to do this, right? 33%, hang out with people who are at your same level. You're going to be in 5 years, you're going to be the combination of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. That mantra, have it in your head. if you're hanging out with losers, people who waste your time, who waste you, drain you of energy, even girls a lot of times, get rid of that. You want to be successful? You got to hang out with people who are on your level. Same thinking level, same wavelength, people who are going to support you in your dreams. And then the other 33% is people who are 20 years ahead of you. I haven't done that yet. But think about how powerful it would be to have somebody in your phone who's a really famous cardiovascular surgeon. And you're like, hey, listen, I haven't been in med school, but what can I do to get started right now? I'd be like, you know what? I recommend you this book. Check it out. Boom. What do you think about, you're a really well-to-do guy, Jake. Come into my office next week. I want to talk with you because you're really nice. You want to go to med school too. Who would be a good mentor for you? Because you want to be, what's your end goal? What's something that you have like 10, 15 years in mind?
Controlling the masses. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
I think up in like Congress or something.
Right.
Yeah, representing the people doing what's right.
Okay, cool. So who would be a good mentor for you then?
Now that I got this position, I could seek advice from this guy. It's Rick Scott.
Yeah, that is pretty big right there.
Yeah.
Wow, powerful. Okay, you're a lucky man. You?
No, I was gonna say what that reminds me of is one time I saw like this. It was sort of like a rant video by 50 Cent, and he was talking about how like, oh, there's all these people, these loser people who are always complaining about how they don't have much. They're always poor, they're always broke, they don't have anything in their lives, he goes on to say, he goes, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with for no reason. So the 5 people who you hang out with for no reason, those are the people who you're gonna most likely be like. The people you're gonna like absorb their energy, absorb their thoughts, their intuitive, intellect, whatever. And if you don't stop hanging out with people who are constantly complaining or thinking negatively about life itself, you're not gonna achieve the things that you wish you had, the things you see on TV, whatever. And that just kind of like hit home with that.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Most people have no reason to hang out with other people. They're like, oh, I just want to hang out with somebody.
Mm.
But once you start crafting, like, it kind of sounds bad because you're picking friends, but that's what you're doing. I mean, that's what you have to do, right? If you have the option to hang out with, let's say, this is a good example, Greg Plitt or Elliot Hulse, or hang out with a guy who's the same age but is not doing weights or is not in that same wavelength, who are you going to hang out with? Elliot Hulse. It makes complete sense. It's a no-brainer.